Winsten-Salem. Met with my pal, my Twitter friend, Bob Ostrom.
Hey, who picked this spot to me?
And Fian Arroyo. So anyway, we almost caught an accident. Do it again. Take two.
Good, yeah. And I'll just relax over here.
So anyway, we just want to interview Bob a little bit since we have this opportunity together. Maybe put it up on the blog and see what we come up with. So, Bob.
Yes, yes, sir. What do you want to know?
Interview voice.
So Bob,
we've got 5 minutes of airtime to fill, and go.
How'd you get started? When and how?
I got started in
Got 30 seconds.
1989. I was working for a small toy company, and the toy company hired me, moved me out to Framingham, and 4 months later, they ended up losing a big client, and they had to lay off half the art staff. So I was one of the last guys in, so I was one of the first guys to go. So I started looking for work, and there was really not a lot going on in the late 80s. If any of you older guys remember the 80s.
He's not. I know he's not talking to me.
I'm done. So anyways, there I was in the middle of nowhere. Well, Framingham's not the middle of nowhere, but there I was in Framingham without a job, and I started to call all my friends. I said, well, look, can you help me out? Can you hire me or whatever? And it seemed like nobody was willing to hire anybody full-time, but they said, hey, look, we got freelance stuff. Would you like to do some freelance? And so a month went by, another month went by. Pretty soon, the work started to snowball, and I started to get very busy. And I said, hey, this is pretty cool. I could make a living doing this. So I started to pursue it a little bit more. And the nice thing.
So is that when you stopped Chippendales dancing?
No, I'm still dancing there. What happened was the company that had let me go kept me on as a freelancer for a while. And so they sort of bridged that gap between me being unemployed and me being full-time freelance. At a certain point, I decided that I wanted to do children's books. It had been a dream of mine, and I'd always wanted to do them. So I found a rep in New York, and we got to talking, and they started me on the licensing thing. So I started doing books for Wild Thornberrys, Rugrats. I did one for Dr. Seuss, a couple for the Berensteins. So that was really cool, and that worked out really well for a while. But not too long after that, I started to get itchy to do my own stuff. So I ended up leaving that rep. I took a full-time job for a little while, and then eventually found a new rep out of Philadelphia. And she works with me now, and I basically do my own stuff now. So the people who buy my work buy my work for my style at bobostromstudio.com. That's bobostromstudio.com.
You're very well trained, Bob.
I learned that through the videos.
So how do you find your work now? I mean, you mentioned reps. So do you do directories? Mail outs?
I do advertise in directories. My rep is the biggest part of how I get my work. She's been fantastic, and you got to get some footage of that. So yeah, most of my work comes through my rep. I do have a few of my own clients though.
Now, does your rep focus on a certain market, like children's books, or?
Mainly, I do children's books. So I'll do children's books, children's publications, that kind of thing. So,
but is your rep focused in the children's publishing arena?
A large part of her stable is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's worked out pretty well. Good stuff.
All right, awesome. So how often do you guys do mailers? Is she in charge of sending mailers
she does,
out?
Yeah, she takes care of the promotion stuff. So.
Okay, so do you have any say in how it's designed or how it's put together?
We work together at the beginning of the year. Okay, here are the advertising plans that we have. A, B, C, D. A includes this, B includes that, C includes that. Which plan do you want to buy into, and here's what you get with each plan. So the basic idea is to try to get your stuff out to as many people as you can get out to. And so by advertising with, say, workbook or picture book or whatever, we gear it towards a specific market. I tend to steer towards the children's book market, so picture book is a good one for me. Workbook has been good for me.
Okay. And the market, the economy right now, has it slowed for you as far as work-wise, or what kind of differences have you noticed in the last 12 to 24 months in your business?
Well, I was on the tail end of a big project I was telling you about before, so things were going pretty well for the last 2 years because I've been involved with this large project. But yeah, the economy has definitely has shown itself in the children's publishing market. It's something I think that everybody has to deal with, you know.
Now, we've discussed before, like the publishing and the children's market has notoriously been, you know, lower paying fees, let's say, compared to advertising or, you know, marketing firms. Has your rep tried to raise your rates in the last 12 to 24 months? Are they working to? Is that a big focus, or is that not a focus at all in raising the rates?
Not so much. Not so much. It's really basically, you know, you get a set of clients, and I have people who come back to me. I work with the folks over at Weekly Reader. I've done a lot of stuff with highlights, those kind of guys. It stays pretty steady.
Okay, so it's kind of hard to raise the rates. I mean, I know with publishing, with my experience, it's really hard to raise rates in publishing because they have pretty much standardized.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
They pretty much, you know, they pretty much have their set fee. You know?
Right.
Are you interested in doing it for this amount of money or whatever, that
Right.
kind of thing?
Okay. Fian, any questions for Mr. Bob here?
How far is it to Raleigh?
Yeah. How far is it from Asheville to Raleigh? Whole way back?
Because man, I need
I'm sleepy. I need a Red Bull.
Let's see, what else? What kind of advice would you have for the youngins on the Cartooning Pro site, for example, on getting started, practicing with their drawings and so forth?
Well, you know, drawing is still the key. Okay, so learning to draw well can't be disguised by a computer program. It's good to know the computer programming, and it's good to know how to work different programs. But honestly, if you can't draw, Illustrator or Photoshop are not going to help you out. So get your drawing basics down, get your drawing skills down first.
One of the things I suggest to students is going out into a public place like a park or whatever and just start drawing people they see, you know, just loosely, and just kind of draw all the time, and not really worry about making it perfect. I know a lot of art students worry about making things perfect when they're drawing.
Sure.
And what would you say about that? Just keep it loose?
My advice is pick something that you're interested in, okay? If you're not interested in it, it's not going to be any fun for you. It's got to be fun for you, and you want to be able to pick something that you can lose yourself in. And once you find a chick on a motorcycle,
Yeah.
I think she just wants to be on film. Once you find something that you can lose yourself in.
Find something you can lose yourself in, like North Carolina. Like North Carolina.
Like Asheboro.
All right.
No, if you find something you're passionate about, you'll stick with it, and that's the key.
Okay.
For me, it's cartooning. For you, it's cartooning. I like to draw cartoons, and I've always been pretty good at that. And so when I draw them, I'm passionate about it, and I want to do that. You know, so that's what keeps me motivated.
Very good. Awesome. Where do you see the future of your illustration career going?
Well, world domination, of course.
Awesome. Very good. That's exactly what we practice, right?
Total global domination with my minions of doom.
All right, Bob.
I don't have any minions yet, but I'm working on it.
Bob, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
I don't even know if I can frame here. This is Carlos Castellanos, Cartooning Pro. We have an interview with Bob Ostrom and Fian Arroyo. We're going to be back with Fian later when we head out to his pad and see his new digs. So,
Rock on, guys.
Bye.
Bye.